Hey guys, Jacob here. It is August 3rd, 2021, and this is going to be this week's vendor reset. Actually, this might be the earliest vendor reset I've ever done. And this week, they're selling the Pointman Heliguard chest piece. This has triple blues if you guys are looking for armor regen, hazard, and armor with perfect Vanguard. If trying to make a triple blue, hazard build or armor regen build or total armor build, then you guys might want to pick this up. Next is going to be this Tommy gun and ACRE if you guys need max rifle damage and max accuracy for SMGs. Other than that, nothing too crazy at the front desk vendor. Now if you guys just take a right and go through here, this little door which says clan quarters on the left there, you guys will enter the clan quarters. Shout out to DOD, Disciples of Doom, and Kamikaze Von Doom, and this is the clan vendor. This week they're selling the mop, which this one's actually not too bad if you guys want to pick this up and max out the damage to armor and then use optimization to max out the shotgun damage. You guys could do so, but at the same time it has reformation, so you might have to roll the town obviously because not many people really use that skill at all. Or you can just farm loot allocation areas to find a better one, but it just depends if you guys really need it or not, or if you really want to use this for a build if you're trying to make something different. Let's scroll through a few more items in case any of you guys want to pick this stuff up. I will recommend these Walker Harris knee pads, especially if you guys are new or trying to make a damage to armor build or weapon damage build. I'd recommend grabbing these. They're also selling max marksman rifle damage on this sniper rifle if you guys need that. But other than that, nothing too crazy at the clan vendor this week. Next up is going to be the theater settlement, and this week they're selling the mop as well. So if you guys want to grab this one, it's actually way better than the one that was for sale because this one actually has a weapon damage talent, which you'd have to get 3 consecutive kills, which refills the magazine and grants 40% weapon damage, but it's better than Reformation. Also, the rolls on this actually are pretty better, or at least the shotgun's a little bit better, but you could max out the damage to armor and actually make some kind of build with this and actually use it. I'm also going to point out these Seska knee pads in case you guys want to use these for a crit build, especially if you're new. I know this game is currently on sale for like $17, so I know a lot of people are actually coming on here playing, and especially if you're new, you guys might want to grab these to make some kind of DPS build. But other than that, nothing too crazy at the theater settlement. Next is going to be the campus settlement, and this week they're selling the Taba Rasa. This one actually has pretty low rolls. Would not recommend picking this up unless you guys absolutely need it, but you could probably farm LMGs and get this pretty easily. Next is going to be this Model 700 that has max headshot damage if you guys need that for a sniper. I'm also going to point out this Badger Tough mask, especially if you guys are trying to make a shotgun crit build. You guys might want to pick this up. The stats are pretty low, obviously, but I'm mostly pointing out these things due to a lot of new players coming on the game. But other than that, nothing really too crazy at the campus settlement. Now we're starting at the dark zones. Keep this in mind, if you guys are new, you'll have to get a different type of resource to buy these items, which are dark zone resources, which you can get by deconstructing gear and extracting it, or opening smaller boxes scattered around the dark zone. Now, once you get those, once you're extracted, they'll be in your stash, and you can just grab them like that. And if you get them from the little tiny boxes, they go right to your inventory. This week at DZ West, they're selling the Harmony. This one has pretty much way above average, but also not God roll. But if you guys need this for skill builds, I'd recommend grabbing it. They're also selling the 6.716 max critical hit chance if you guys need that for a rifle build. Keep this in mind. The weapons on this cost 153 resources, so if you're looking for something like the apartment and you don't really want something like this, then you might just want to save them. I'm also going to point out these Yalgear gloves, which have hazard and almost max crit. If you guys are trying to make a hazard build, I'd recommend grabbing these, and you can max out the armor and then use optimization and getting max hazard and have a pretty good pair of gloves. But other than that, that's really all they're selling at DZ West. Next is going to be DZ South. This week she is selling the Door Kicker's Knock. This is the Group of Somber chest piece. This one has 13.3 weapon handling, and status effect. So if you guys need max status effects, that is on this chest piece if you guys are really trying to get it. I'm also going to point out these 2 weapons in case you guys need Optimus AKs or Optimus Vectors. But other than that, that's all they're really selling at DZ South. The final Dark Zone is going to be DZ East, and this week she is selling the White Death. The rolls on this are pretty low. Would not recommend grabbing this unless you guys absolutely need it. I'm going to scroll through a few of my items in case any of you guys want to pick this stuff up. But other than that, they're not really selling anything too interesting at DZ East. The final location is going to be New York City. Keep this in mind, they do not sell any named items. They just sell normal items, so just a heads up. I'm going to point out this MPX first, and obviously it's not triple stat god roll, but I'm going to point this out to the fact it has Optimus on it, and if you guys want to get rid of headshot damage and put something like damage to armor or damage charts off cover, this might be a pretty solid SMG you guys might want to max out. Or you can farm loot allocation areas to find a better one. But other than that, nothing really too crazy at the front desk vendor in New York. Now if you guys take a left, go through the atrium right here, then cut through this green tent, you will see Roy Benitez standing at the very end, or really sitting at the very end. And this week, he isn't really selling anything worth picking up in my opinion, but if you guys need any of this stuff, I'd recommend grabbing it. The one item I will actually point out, especially if you're new, I know I've said that a few times to the new players, or if you're trying just to make a crit build, you might want to pick up this Providence Defense Mask, especially if you guys are trying to make a raid build and max out some pieces. But you can obviously farm for better pieces, but if you're just starting, you could pick this up and use it kind of as a filler for another piece until you find a better one. With some of the pieces that are actually for sale this week, and if you have ones and can farm, you might be able to make something that might actually work if you guys are trying to get through a few missions or just trying to make overall DPS builds. But they are selling a few items as well for skill builds as well and a few talents, but they're not really worth picking up in my opinion, and it might be better off farming loot allocation areas to get them. But overall, that's about it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more Division 2 content, and also keep an eye out for the channel update coming out in a week.